Testing 1, 2, 3.
There you go. County, Kansas City, Kansas, is scheduled to be conducted in person on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. in the Commission Chambers of the Municipal Office Building, 701 North 7th Street, Kansas City, Kansas, regarding approval of an ordinance electing to participate in a Star Bond project by pledging local sales and use taxes as a source of payment of Star Bonds issued by the Kansas Development Finance Authority related to a sports stadium. Roll call. Lopez,
Here.
Stites,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Bynum, Hump,
Here.
Howard,
Here.
Burns,
Here.
Ramirez,
Here.
Hill, Pacheco,
Here.
Watson.
Present. Good. All right, we have one item scheduled before the commission this evening. And I want to say good evening to all my commissioners and to our county administrator and our legal and clerks today, and to the staff who are here. Thank you for being here. This item is a public hearing to allow citizens to provide comments to the commission regarding pledging local sales and use tax as a source of payment for Star Bonds issued by the Kansas Development Finance Authority related to a sports stadium. At this time, I will turn the matter over to our county administrator, Mr. David Johnston, to introduce the presentation this evening.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Our legal counsel, Todd LaSala, will be making a brief presentation before the hearing starts. So, Mr. LaSala?
Oh, great. Thank you, Mr. County Administrator, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Todd LaSala from Stinson. I'm your outside counsel on economic development. Oh, up a little higher? Better? Okay. Okay. All right. I'll try. All right. I do have a short presentation for you that is really pretty high level, top of the waves. When it comes up, we'll get started. There you go. There's our cover. Here's an overview of what I intend to do tonight. These are the questions I hope that this presentation answers. Number one, what is the project? Number two, what is our expectation about timeline? Where specifically is the project site? And what is the UG being asked to do? What is the action that we're being asked to take? Next, what does our draft ordinance say? And then finally, who issues the Star Bonds if all of this proceeds? Okay, the first slide, the project. What is the project? Well, we've heard a lot about this since it was announced on December 22nd. And we've sort of broken it down on this slide about the components that are here in the UG and Wyandotte County and the components that are likely to be outside of the UG. The Wyandotte County components of the project are, of course, the stadium itself. It's a 65,000 seat domed NFL stadium with about a $3 billion budget projected right now. Wyandotte County would also get an entertainment district in connection with that stadium. Its anticipated cost is $325 million, and no less than half of that, $162.5 million, is intended to be for sales tax producing uses. We also know that there are components that are likely to be outside of Wyandotte County by design. The term sheets that have been available for a long time say that the headquarters facility for the Chiefs, the practice facility would be located in the city of Olathe, and that has approximately $3 million budget for those components. That leaves in the qualified ancillary development budget that the term sheet talks about $375 million of additional development that could be anywhere in the district. Could be in Wyandotte County, could be in Olathe, could be in other parts of that district. So the next one, Commissioner, is the timeline. What is the expectation about timeline? If these are legible, I hope that they are. It talks about kind of a starting point of December 22nd of last year, the announcement, the approval by the LCC. And that starts a clock that the statute says that the local government, the UG, has really 60 days from that date to decide whether to pledge its local increment. And we'll talk more about increment. We have 60 days to decide whether to do that or not. So the deadline, the clock is ticking according to the statute. Our deadline is February 20th. There's also a deadline articulated in the term sheet for site control for the location of the stadium and the entertainment district. That deadline in the term sheet is May 15th of this year. There's a deadline for completing documents, and the documents for this need to be done by October 1st of 2026. And then there are dates targeted for opening. The target for the opening of the stadium is August 1st of 2031. And the deadline to complete the entertainment district component is December 31st of 2038. So part of what you see here is that tonight, or when you vote, it is sort of a first step in a very long process that includes a lot of additional work to be done. Next, the site. This is the location that is contemplated for the stadium and the entertainment district. So it is bounded at the bottom by State Avenue, parallel at the top of this map, and 118th Street to the east. That is about 235 acres that you see on that map. That is the expected location for this project. Okay, what is being asked of us? What is the pledge of increment that is being requested? Well, first of all, what is increment, right? Increment is the local sales tax and the transient guest tax that would be created by this project. So in the site that I just showed you, there's not currently transient guest tax, there's not currently sales tax. So you kind of start with a base year of 0. So in this one, it's sort of all new, but importantly, the pledge that is requested of the local government is only in that area that I just showed you. It is not the entire county. It is just that area. And again, more specifically, what does it include? Well, for a period that bonds would be issued, which is up to 30 years, there's hope that it would pay off faster than that. The team has talked about dates that are faster than that. But up to 30 years, the pledge that is requested is the city's 1% sales and use tax that's not currently committed to anything else. The county's 93% share of the 1% county sales tax, and the UG's transient guest tax up to 8%. So right now, to the extent that you would be collecting more than that, up to 10%, you keep that other 2%. It's only the 8%. So what is not included in the pledge that is being requested of you? Well, your 0.25 EMS, Emergency Medical Services Sales Tax, that is not included in the pledge. We would keep that. The 0.375 of Public Safety and Neighborhood Infrastructure, that is not included in the pledge. We would keep that. Any sales or use taxes that are committed to anything else would not be included. And the TGT, the transient guest tax above 8%, not included in the pledge. You would keep that. So that is the increment. That is what is being requested of you. That's what the ordinance is about. And this is the decision that you have to make by February 20th. Okay, what does our ordinance look like? Well, our ordinance includes the pledge that I just showed you, that you agreed to commit that to the project for up to 30 years. But our ordinance includes within it some conditions. Well, what are those conditions? One, in Wyandotte County, it is a condition in our ordinance that the Starbond district and the project area that I just showed you, that they match, that they are the same area. And the boundaries of the Starbond district located in Wyandotte County cannot be enlarged or changed without the approval of the UG. Secondly, there's a bunch of definitive documents, contracts that have to be done. I told you earlier, the date for that is October 1st. The UG would have some approval right with respect to the definitive documents. Our pledge is subject to those documents being satisfactory and approved by the UG. Also, within the term sheet, there's a lot of discussion about community benefit and a committee that would decide where some of those community benefit dollars go. And the term sheet talks about a committee making those decisions that has 5 members. We know from the term sheet that one of those members is the team, but what we're saying here is that a condition of our pledge, the UG's pledge, is that one of those representatives would be appointed by the mayor and approved by you, the UG's commission. And final condition is an outside date for the pledge. It doesn't go on forever. Some projects take more time, but the outside date for the pledge for these bonds to be issued is December 31st of 2030. Okay, facts about these star bonds and who issues these star bonds. I talked a minute ago about the pledge and the increment and how the base year is 0. So again, the pledge you're being asked for is based on the stadium and the entertainment district that is coming. It is not any sales tax that exists in your community today. It only results from this project choosing this location and opening at this site. So that's what the pledge is. Importantly, in this case, unlike other star bond projects that you have done before, the unified government would not be the issuer of these star bonds. There is a state agency that is very likely to be the issuer, the Kansas Development Finance Authority, the KDFA. And importantly, on these star bonds, the UG will not be guaranteeing the star bonds. You have some bonds that you can think about that are general obligation bonds and others where you're the issuer, and they're special obligation bonds. But importantly, the UG is not being asked and will not be the issuer, so they will not be guaranteeing bonds. They will not be credit enhancing bonds. And if for any reason there's a shortfall in these bonds, the UG is not financially responsible. Mayor, that is my presentation. And at this point, you are welcome to open the public hearing and hear from the public. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move to the public comment portion of the meeting. There are some special considerations that have been set this evening to ensure an orderly meeting, as well as to allow as many people as possible that have requested to speak to share their concerns. As a reminder to all present, this matter is not scheduled for debate. This is a time for a governing body to listen to citizens' comments. Citizens' questions will be noted. However, there will be no interaction between the governing body and the speakers this evening. We want to ensure everyone who wants to speak an opportunity to speak. So again, our job today is just to listen to you. Comments tonight will only be taken from citizens present. No public comment will be heard via Zoom. Speakers will be given up to 2 minutes to state their comments. So I am going to ask that you keep your statements just to 2 minutes so that you don't infringe upon anyone else's opportunity to speak. Speakers addressing the commission this evening will not be able to submit written comments. You only do one or the other. You write or you speak tonight. The public was provided an opportunity to submit written comments by noon today. All comments timely received will be included as part of the record of this meeting and will be provided to all members of the governing body. So that means all comments that were received by noon today are going to be given to the commissioners, and they will be given the next couple days to go over those comments for consideration. However, those comments will not be read during the meeting this evening. So any of the comments that came in written will not be read tonight, but they will be distributed to our commissioners. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to our clerk, Monica Sparks, to announce the order of speakers. Each speaker will be given up to 2 minutes to make comments. Please state your name and city of residency before you begin your comments. Comments should be limited to the topic this evening. And the topic is, what is the topic? It is the Chiefs. Now, let me also say that disruptive comments and behavior are not permitted and may result in removal from the meeting. So please keep your disruptive comments to yourself, okay? We want to be respectful of everyone and to the commission board. The clerk will call the speakers. At the end, clerk will announce when no further speakers have signed in. And then at my discretion to allow anyone who may not have signed in to speak at this time. Okay?
We're ready.
So we're not making any comments tonight. Sorry. We're going to listen to our constituents tonight. Thank you so much. Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. So we're going to open the public hearing with our first speaker. Our first speaker is Matthew Kleinman. Dion Witten on deck. You'll have 2 minutes. Please state your name and residence.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Matt Kleiman, and I'm a resident of Kansas City, Kansas. I want to thank you for taking this issue seriously. Now, I've spent a decade working to improve Wyandotte County, and I know your decision is going to shape our county for decades to come. I believe a stadium can be an opportunity, so I'm supportive of it. But I'm also skeptical, and I do think your good governance requires you to be both. I also want to thank the presentation because shrinking the Star Bond District just to the project area makes a lot of sense. It will meaningfully reduce our risks, so thank you for doing that. But I also want you to use the leverage you have in this moment to lock in the best deal possible for Wyandotte County. First, I ask you to consider protecting our existing revenue and our property taxpayers. A zero base will only work on truly greenfield land, and I ask that you protect our current and future revenues so we're not asked to make up the difference later. Get a hard cap on our costs and make sure that we can share in the benefit as the project proceeds. Second, I ask you to keep that district as tight and durable as possible so that future expansion is phased and it comes back to this commission for votes and
1
that it
minute.
is tied to real performance outcomes and not assumptions. Third, I ask that you make this deal as paid for by fans and not our families. For most Chiefs fans, they're going to spend that money here instead of elsewhere in the region, but the deal should rely as much as possible on visitors from outside our county so our services aren't squeezed and property taxes aren't forced to backfill the gaps. Fourth, accountability has to have teeth. Put independent eyes on the numbers, check every year whether promises are being met, and add real consequences if they're not, and make sure there's local and community voices at the table. I'd encourage more than one, not just the team in the state on this deal. If the deal underperforms, we should not be left holding the bag. Finally, community benefits must be intentional. If this is going to work for a whole county, we need to make sure that there's clear enforceable commitment to the east side of our county so that investment is in our community services and maintains our infrastructure that we build over the long haul. Bringing the Chiefs here could be a generational investment, but only if you negotiate it in a way that lowers our long-term costs, protects our residents, and delivers real benefits where they're needed the most. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Dion Witten, Virginia Hubble on deck. On deck. Dion Witten.
Dion Witten.
Dion Witten, Kansas City, Kansas. Good evening, Commissioners, Mayor, and residents. I want to start with clarity. The Chiefs are coming. That decision is already made. Nothing being discussed today stops that, delays it, or sends it elsewhere. Welcome to Kansas has already been proclaimed. What's left is whether Wyandotte County approaches this as a serious business partner or simply as a place that supplies tax dollars and labor. This vote is not about whether development happens. The site is agreed upon. The momentum already exists. But affordability matters here. Wyandotte County residents are under immense pressure. Sales tax hits working families every day, and concerns about property taxes are real. When we commit future sales and hotel growth for decades, even if taxes don't go up tomorrow, we limit future budgets flexibility. That matters. This approach only makes sense when the land isn't making any money yet. If there are no stores, no businesses, and no tax dollars coming in, then whatever money shows up later is truly new. But if the bond district includes areas where revenue already exists or where growth would happen anyway, then this stops being an incentive and becomes a diversion.
One
That
minute.
is money the county would likely receive regardless. This deal cannot stop at construction. Build out is only the beginning. Maintenance, infrastructure, repairs, and long-term upkeep must be fully accounted for within the STAR bond structure, not shifted into county budgets later. And if this is truly a business deal, then Wyandotte County should receive a share of ongoing business. A modest negotiated percentage of future operating revenue from the stadium and new district will be transformative for the infrastructure and services the county needs. Even a small percentage over time will matter. This also has to be a real economic participation. Wyandotte County businesses should have fair, transparent access to the bidding process for construction, operation, and services. And participation cannot stop at minimum wage jobs. If we are hosting an economic engine, residents should have pathways to skilled work, contracts, and long-term opportunity. The Chiefs are not a speculative bet. The money is going to happen. Because of that clarity, our rate of benefit, but also match their rate of benefit. So here's the
Your
standard.
time has expired.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Virginia Hubble. Edward Bain on deck.
I'm Virginia Hubble, and I live in Wyandotte County. This is, being allowed to speak after decisions are already in motion is not the same as being heard. This proposal must also be understood within the broader context of state-level policy decisions originating in Topeka. Similar incentive structures have been authorized across Kansas through actions of our legislature across the state, often leaving local governments and residents with long-term financial exposure after state officials and representatives have moved on. Authorization may occur at state level, but the risk remains here at home, local. At the same time, Topeka continues to discuss measures that may reduce recurring revenue streams for counties and municipalities. In that context, pledging remaining local sales tax capacity to long-term private projects raise serious concerns about physical resilience and protection of core services.
1 minute.
This is also a clear pattern that deserves acknowledgement. Large private for-profit developments, including data centers and professional sports projects, are repeatedly cited in lower income or already burdened communities. These projects rely on public infrastructure, public tax incentives, public tolerance of long-term impact, while profits flow outward to private entities. When communities with the least economic flexibility are asked to absorb the greatest risk, that's not development, that's extraction. Sales and use tax affect everyday household, utility users, and homeowners. Pledging those revenues for private profit reduces local tax capacity and shifts long-term obligations onto residents who may never see a proportional benefit. Many of us are not opposed to growth. We are opposed to pre-decided outcomes, diminished accountability, and symbolic participation. Decisions of this scale will outlast political terms, careers, and agreements made behind closed doors.
Your time has
Residents and
expired.
Property owners will live with the consequences long after tonight, and the reality deserves genuine
Ma'am, your minutes are up.
accountability.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Edward Bain. Paula Flattery Aaron on deck.
James Bain, Kansas City, Kansas. My message tonight is a very simple one. Let's put Wyandotte County first. For far too long, we put other people first. We put this politician first and this developer first. let's put Wyandotte County first and collect every penny of that increased sales tax collection. Tonight should be a night of celebration. We should all be celebrating a new mayor that's doing a phenomenal job, and we should be celebrating new commissioners, great new commissioners. But we can't celebrate because we're faced with this choice of no revenue, but a stack of bills for our city services that have to be provided in that district. We have construction going on in our community all over the place. We have new houses being built. Housing, should be a night of celebration, but we're worried about how we're going to pay the city services provided in that district. And if we put Wyandotte County first and we keep all this money and somebody's mad, let them be mad. We
1
have your
minute.
back. Everybody here, we are ready. We believe in you. We have a dream team here. Between this team we have and the team we have out here, we will make it, but we've got to give ourselves a chance. And we've got to collect every penny from that district so we can pay the cost in the district and benefit to pay the continued rising costs of government. The UG's budget has rose over $100 million in the last 5 years. Where are we going to get the money to cover the continued rise in government costs if we are giving away sales tax revenue? So thank you. Please vote no on this ordinance. Put us first for once. Put Wyandotte County first. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Paula Flatery Aaron, Latanya Goodlow.
Good evening,
Good
Madam
evening.
Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Paula Flattery Aaron. I'm from Strawberry Hill. It was reported that in 2023 to 24 in the school year, Kansas City Public School had over 876 to 1,400 homeless children, students that were identified under the McKinney-Vento Act. Now, this means that they lacked fixed, regular, and nighttime residence. Now, let's talk about one of our dedicated teachers. His name is J.C. Van Devender. He raised money for his students at Rosedale Middle School by walking in December from his home in Lee Summit to the school. That's 16 miles, took him 6 hours. He did that thinking the whole time about his students that didn't have a place to sleep and weren't warm and didn't have food. Now that's, for me, that's insanity. That we would even think about giving $1 to a billionaire. It's insanity. Wyandotte County is failing these children. They would fill this room to capacity, and I want you to think about that when you're voting, that many children do not have a place to lay their head tonight. We need every dime from every revenue source without adding any additional burdens on our Wyandotte County residents. Madam Mayor, it was reported that Governor Kelly recognized you as being instrumental in making this Chiefs deal happen. Now, I don't know about that, but what I hope to witness is that you all will stand up for our school children and our residents of this county and vote no to committing any of our sales tax revenue to a billionaire.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Latanya Goodlow, Nikki Richardson on deck.
Commissioners and residents, Wyandotte County, Latanya Goodlow, Kansas City, Kansas. I sent an email in and I think I voiced quite a few my concerns and what I think, but here I wanted to stand today and talk to you guys as a small business owner in Wyandotte County as you make your decisions in this. I'm not really going to get into the sales tax and things, but I do want us to remember that during this, when local business enterprises mentioned, it's often interpreted and included the entire Kansas City. Okay, thank you. The Kansas City metro area in practice, and that can mean businesses located outside of Kansas or outside of Wyandotte County. They're treated the same. If they're physically located here or not. Wyandotte businesses employ Kansas residents, and that distinction does matter. The Chiefs are choosing to leave Kansas City, Missouri, and relocate to Kansas. If Kansas, and more specifically Wyandotte County, is going to carry the financial infrastructure and long-term impact of this decision, then Kansas businesses should have first opportunity and first consideration in the work that follows, each and every job opportunity or business opportunity that comes by way of this.
1 minute.
When local businesses are prioritized, tax dollars stay in the community. That allows businesses to grow here, hire, and scale. It also creates opportunities for smaller Kansas businesses to participate in larger projects that they may otherwise never have an opportunity to do. As you move forward in your vote, I encourage you to be mindful on how local is defined and applied. If we're investing Kansas resources into this project, then Kansas businesses, especially those in Wyandotte County, should be meaningfully and intentionally included from the start and not an afterthought. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Nikki Richardson. Mike Kane on deck.
Good evening, commissioners. It's so happy to see you this evening. My name is Nikki Richardson. I'm a resident of Kansas City, Kansas. I've spoken to you many of times over these last couple of years, most recently in reference to making sure that we have more health investments. As many people may know, Wyandotte County has the worst health outcomes in the entire state. And in Wyandotte County, the Northeast side has the worst health outcomes in the entire county. I don't think this is a good deal if we don't try to rectify that. The East Side, as mentioned by previous people, are oftentimes neglected in these types of deals. We talk all the time about how there's all this development out west and there's nothing out east, and how we would like to see that change. If this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity that we're going to take no matter what, then this should be the change that we have been dying to see for generations. The East Side deserves attention, it deserves revenue, it deserves opportunity. We have a ton of great, strong neighborhood groups and organizations that really could use some strong support
1 minute.
so that they can revitalize that neighborhood. And I want to stand here with them. Our organization has been really trying to get a handle on how the Northeast gets exploited. And oftentimes it's by pure complacency. Oftentimes it's by people just being okay with the going along and getting along of things. And so I really just want to make sure that we are intentional this go round when it comes to the Northeast. If the Northeast looks the same 20 years from now, we have not done our job. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mike Kane. Carol Marinovich on deck.
My name is Mike Kane. I'm a lifelong resident of Wyandotte County. Mayor, administrators, and commissioners, some of you know that I'm the president of Tri-County Labor of Eastern Kansas. I represent over 10,000 workers in the Kansas City area, many who reside in Kansas City, Kansas. The Chiefs project is a long-term career, not short-term construction. This is a lifetime opportunity to keep the Chiefs and thousands of families supporting union careers right here in Kansas instead of losing them to somewhere else. The project creates 22,000 career opportunities. Several of them will be Wyandotte County workers, and establishes 4,000 permanent ongoing careers that would not exist without this investment. These are real union career with strong wages, benefits, training, and advancement, and not just temporary low-grade jobs. The total economic development is $3 billion, with over $500 million every year flowing through Wyandotte County, supporting local contractors,
1 minute.
small businesses, and strengthening the tax base. A strong base means more long-term funding for schools, infrastructure, and public services without putting the burden on local working families. Wyandotte County has worked hard to attract this major investment. And now is the moment to keep the opportunity to keep them at home. Please keep this in mind and please support it. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Carol Marinovich. Tracy Johnson on deck.
Good evening. My name is Carol Marinovich, and I live in Kansas City, Kansas. I'd like to thank the mayor and the commission for the opportunity to speak tonight. I just want to pose a few questions that I think need to be addressed and answered before you approve allocating your incremental taxes to this project. Question 1, after 30 years, who will be responsible for stadium demolition if the Chiefs leave? Number 2, what is the potential financial impact to the Piper School District? Number 3, what could be an impact to BPU? Have we talked with them yet? 4, who will pay for public safety and public works in this area? Number 5, the ancillary development agreement is only between the Chiefs and the state. Shouldn't the UG be involved in the division and the decision-making for the community they represent? It has a potential. The entertainment district has a potential of competing with development we already have. Number 6, can we commit to provide
1
local
minute.
public incentives for only the stadium and necessary parking? 7, why are we committing a larger percentage of our transient guest tax than Olathe? And number 8, why isn't Wyandotte County a specific recipient from the community impact agreement, since we're the ones giving up so much? This is our opportunity of leverage, and we need to use it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tracy Johnson. Tim Kelly on deck.
Thank you very much. I am so grateful for the people. My name is Tracy Johnson, and I'm a Kansas City, Kansas resident. I am so grateful for the people that came before me because I completely agree with the points they've made, and they've allowed me the opportunity to focus on something they haven't addressed yet. The place the stadium is going is literally right across the road from my house, 1 block away. What they show on the television when they show where the stadium is going is a large field. It's not a large field. There are 500 single-owned properties of $280,000 to $500,000 houses within 2 blocks of where the stadium is being built. They're not little houses. They're not old houses. They're not run-down houses. They're not going to be knocked down anytime soon. But they are all people that are living there that will now have a stadium that twice the size of the entire neighborhood right in there across the street. I can tell you that when the amphitheater has any kind of
1 minute.
music, we can't even get to our house because they can't do the infrastructure and traffic properly. So I'm concerned with the community impact group. That's what I'm coming back to. That community impact group has to be concerned about our community because you're going to drive our property values up, yay, I guess, except for the people that are living there on fixed income that can barely afford the property tax and insurance right now. So unless you want that whole area to be all rentals and we all have to move out, 500 people have been here for a long time, over 20 years, and more than 500 people. That's a problem. Guess what else is over there? An elementary school, which is also right across the road from the stadium. More planning, more money to that community, promise 1% of the parking revenues, promise something to allow us to be able to enjoy our neighborhood after this place comes in. And by the way, we are all happy about the Chiefs. We love the Chiefs.
Your time has expired.
Don't hurt us because of them, because we love them so much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tim Kelly. Will Klinger on deck.
Good evening, Mayor and Councilman. Thank you very much for offering us the time. First and foremost, I think I could speak for
Sir, could you state your name and residence, please?
Timothy Kelly, 11 North 118th Street.
Thank you.
I think I could speak for all of us when I think we kind of got bulldozed by the state announcement that we were all of a sudden pregnant with this. We had no voice on it. We had no vote on it. The people in Kansas City, Missouri were able to vote on it to some degree. I don't know if that's a symptom of the star bonds. But I think, that was not fair. I do applaud you, Mayor, for trying to slow this train down a little bit and trying to do some more analysis. My biggest fear is I believe we are already the highest taxed county in the state, if my figures are correct. And the last thing we need we don't need to be taxed anymore. I'm tired. I've been here for 40 years. I see countless neighbors, countless peer workers move out of the county saying, I got to get the hell out of Wyandotte County. They're killing me in taxes. We got to stop that. It's a great community. I love the people. I applaud you what you're doing. Let's just make sure that this is going to benefit not only me, but
1
my
minute.
children and their children and the kids in the schools, the homeless kids, kids that need better education. We've got a horrible school system. We can do better, and maybe we can use this as a catalyst to get us where we should be. Please, one last thing is please, please be transparent. Be as transparent as possible. To that end, I would ask the gentleman over here if it would be feasible for us to get a hold of his presentation for our records. I didn't see anything proprietary in that would, maybe you can make that public on a website somewhere. So once again, thank you. Please keep
Thank
us in
you.
mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Will Klinger.
I'm
Tim
Will
Barnett
Klinger. I
on
live
deck.
in KCK. Officer, please step forward. Sergeant Arms, please stand up for me, please. These three men here and this one over here, they can't even, you guys are going to tax us and you can't even pay their paycheck. The other day I read that they're going to, for the fiscal year, they're going to have to start cutting hours down and everything else. So why tax us for a stadium that we won't even be at? And you can't even pay our first responders. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tim Barnett. Dave Druten on deck. Tim Barnett. Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Dave Druten. Kelly White on deck.
Dave Druten. I live in Kansas City, Kansas. I drive on our streets. They need repair. I volunteer at 3 of our schools. I volunteer at 3 of our schools and they need more money. We've already heard about the health conditions in Wyandotte County. If you think this is a permanent fix, I think there's a good idea for star bonds for certain projects. I don't think this is one of them. This is one of the stupidest ideas I've seen since they proposed Minnesota Avenue to build the McDowell Plaza. This will be the Chiefs' 3rd state and 4th stadium. So in 30 years, as former Mayor Marinovich pointed out, when they get a better deal and they move, it's going to cost the Kansas City, Missouri, or Jackson County $100 million to demolish the stadium. We took money from the casino that would have gone to help our roads and bridges and schools. And somebody said, let's use this to lure a professional team that Wyandotte County didn't ask for and doesn't need. And how much money do you need to spend on a project that says, how much money do you need and when do you need it? The idea of an entertainment district, Jackson County is 5 times larger than Wyandotte County. In 50 years, there's nothing that's grown when they've got 2 stadiums out there. The only hotel they had folded. If you do get an entertainment district and you do get some restaurants or bars out there, they're going to take away from the Legends, which are already getting the sales tax. Star bonds, I think, were intended to improve the quality of life of the county. It's hard to believe that some of the things that they've already used them for help our quality of life here. I don't think this is a good project to invest in. I think that the money can be better spent somewhere else. I think it was a bad idea to start with. I heard somebody say about voting that you can't get all the voters in an owner's suite, but you can sure stick in a few legislators. And I think that's what happened in this particular.
Your time has expired.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Kelly White. Randy Shirk on deck.
Kelly White, Kansas City, Kansas. Definitely thank you all for listening to everyone tonight. It's been great to listen to a lot of comments that I haven't even thought of. They are trying to promote, you know, or when I say they, we hear no new tax. And of course, it's not, there's nothing there to be taxed, but it's a tax that we should be receiving for all the resources that we are going to be using. All of the questions that they've asked about what's going to happen in the future, eventually down the pipeline, they're going to be asking for some sort of government subsidy incentives because that's what always happens. And then that starts the cycle of the taxes is going to be raised for us. The only other thing I can add maybe that no one else has said tonight is, well, two reasons to vote no. One, if we're getting mass texts from lobbyists to come and promote this, that should make us all stand back and take pause. And two, you should be looking out for the constituents, the taxpayers. This tax should in no way be allocated to any part of this. It should be coming back to the general fund or allocated to maybe a school or somewhere better useful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Randy Shirk. Kevin Karst on deck. Thank you. Our next speaker is Kevin Karst. Carolyn Wyatt on deck. We have Kevin Karst, K-A-R-S-T. Last call. We have Carolyn Wyatt with Christopher Overfelt on deck.
Good evening, Carolyn Wyatt, Kansas City, Kansas. About the Chiefs deal, if the county, Wyandotte County can't get anything for 30 years, if we get our sales tax for 30 years, that would make our taxes go down. The one thing that people here want is their taxes to go down. The Chiefs don't need the money. There is a lady that lives on 4th Street. She has a Habitat house. She pays over $2,500 a year. And those are reasons she should be paying that kind of money, and there's nothing down there. The streets are so bad, if you ride out Parallel Parkway, you're gonna tear your car up. The community benefit, which is being held right now, community benefit's supposed to come east of 635. They want to hold that money for 2 years. We didn't need that money now. So any community benefit that happens out west was money supposed to come back east. And we haven't got that yet. So we really want that money. So like I'm saying, it's just that
1 minute.
We just have to get something out of the deal, or we need to all say no and let the world know that Wyandotte County is just not going to get run over. If we can't get nothing, we don't want anything. We'll support the Chiefs when they go somewhere, but we don't need them here if we can't get the taxes.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Christopher Overfelt. Karen Daniels on deck.
My name is Christopher Overfelt. I live at 3121 West 44th Terrace here in Kansas City, Kansas. I'm here tonight to ask you not to give my money to Clark Hunt. We already pay an exorbitantly high sales tax here in Kansas because our state legislature refuses to tax the rich at a rate that is commensurate with their enormous wealth. Even with our already high sales and property taxes, our city struggles to fund the basic necessities of our community. Class sizes are larger than they have ever been in our schools. Basic administrative positions are left unfilled, and more beneficial community programs are on the chopping block. Individually, the average person in Kansas City can no longer afford to go to the doctor, go to college, and struggles to pay basic rent and food. I make around $30,000 a year as a manual laborer here in Kansas City. Clark Hunt is worth $1.6 billion. His entire family is worth billions more. Since 1984, the year I was born, the wealth of the top 1% of this country, of which Clark Hunt is a member, has skyrocketed. The wealth gap in this country is greater than it has ever been. That ever-growing wealth gap in this country between rich and poor can be directly contributed to the policies you are discussing here in this room tonight. The seeds that you are sowing here tonight by giving ever more money to those who already have so much of it are the seeds from which revolutions grow. You are squeezing blood from a stone. You are taking food from the mouths of our children and giving it to Clark Hunt. We have no more to give. We are at the end of our rope, and if you push us off that rope, our entire community will suffer.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Karen Daniels Fanny Hill on deck.
Hello, my name is Karen Daniels, Kansas City, Kansas. Good evening, commissioners, member of the Unified Governor and community. I'm here on behalf of the community of the Quindaro Peace and Arts District. It's a community-led organization in Northeast Kansas City, Kansas, layered on top of the Heritage Trail. I want to start by saying clearly, we are glad the Chiefs are coming to Wyandotte County. We're excited for a new stadium, global jobs, global events, jobs, and economic growth. We are not anti-stadium, we are pro-community, but we are here because we know from experience that big projects don't automatically reach every neighborhood, and Quindaro has the receipts to show it. Now we are being asked to pledge local sales tax for the next 30 years towards a stadium. At the same time, we are told that the Chiefs' $7 million annual rent goes back into the stadium operations, not into the county. And that only 50% of the $3 million annual community contribution will only be spent in the Kansas City metro area. For communities like Quindaro, that sounds familiar. We've been promised before, we've contributed before, and far too often it's never come back to us. So tonight I'm asking for a simple thing. I'm asking that the Quindaro Peace and Arts District and Heritage Trail be carved out of the store bond agreement that's tied to this stadium, and instead start a community improvement district paired with a community reinvestment trust so that we can invest in our own community, be transparent and governed by our community, bring historic preservation, arts, housing, sustainability, and small businesses.
Our next speaker is Fanny Hill. Fred Postlethwaite on deck.
Hello, commissioners, mayor. I always say, why me? Why me? I've been fasting, praying before
Ms.
God
Hill?
all day long,
Ms. Hill,
all day.
we need you to state your name and residence, please.
My name is Evangelist Fanny Hill, War Cry Ministry, and I have been embracing this community for the last 4 or 5 years about the situation going on in this community, and I have spoke. We know we have enough money with the tax we're paying to run our community. We have plenty of money. The problem is, where's it going? We have a bigger problem. We have a much bigger problem than the chief in taxes. Corruption is rapid in our community. Too much money is leaving. When this deal came up, I thought, what an insult. You want us to own the house and you want all the benefits of the landlord. You want us to pay the taxes and the upkeep, but you want to take the rent money. You want to sell in your stadium and not pay any taxes. You're going to charge taxes, but it'll probably go in your pocket. You want to own our land to park on and make millions while we get nothing out of it. What are we're giving, like Mayor Garner always said, we're giving away the farm for nothing. And we
1 minute
why
remaining.
we're struggling with no money. This is not a deal, it's an insult. It's an insult. And I don't understand why our leaders are even entertaining it. I would have sent him back immediately and say, come back when you get a deal. I don't understand it. Why aren't you angry about this? You're being insulted, we're being humiliated, the nation is watching us, and he comes to us with something like this. And we spend all this time letting it divide our community, causing problems in our community while we entertain it. And it has become nothing but a disruption, and we're entertaining it. I would have threw it back at him in a day and moved forward. Told him, come back when you get a deal. This is not a deal. This is corruption exposed at its highest level. I've been saying God is going to clean up this community, and he's exposing corruption. And why do we want to deal with a corrupt deal like this? I don't know who.
Your time has expired.
But it's a corrupt deal.
Our next speaker is Fred Postlethwaite. Adrian Lewis on deck.
My name is Fred Postwaite, resident in Wyandotte County for 79 years. You all know me. This bond issue should not even be considered. This bond issue only asks for taxes, doesn't pay us a penny of rent. There will be much infrastructure that will have to be changed. It destroys the area where we have our best possibility for residential growth and just turns it into a commercial district. If you want to destroy the county, vote for this bond. If you want the county grow, find a way to cut taxes. And if you must make a deal that makes sense. This bill does not make sense. It is not one penny that goes into our budget to even begin to pay a salary for one policeman or fireman.
1 minute
Come
remaining.
on, folks. This is ridiculous. This county has gone for project after project after project. The Schlitter bomb. Everybody going to the Schlitter bomb these days? The American Royal, where is it? We just funded it some more money. It's a disaster. The dog racetrack. Anybody go to the dog racetrack? Cerner was going to be the big savior of our county. We built some big buildings out there around the Legends. Anybody been out to Cerner lately? How about Indian Springs? How about that shopping center, folks?
Your time has
Racetrack.
expired.
Racetrack is 1 to 2 years from being destroyed. What a marvelous set of conditions we have made for this county.
Sir, your
throw a
time has
20
expired.
Bill down in front of you and you scream.
Your
"Go."
time has expired. Please be respectful.
Time
Thank
to
you.
turn this thing off.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Adrian Lewis. Jeremy Shoemaker on deck.
Adrian Lewis, Kansas City, Kansas. With respect to everybody here, Adrian Lewis, Kansas City, Kansas. With respect to everybody here and everybody that's spoken so far, I don't have a prepared statement. I'm a huge Chiefs fan. I'm glad that there's an opportunity for them to come to Kansas City, Kansas. I'm not in favor of us paying for it. One of the reasons why I'm kind of indifferent about this is because I grew up in this city. I'm 50 years old now. For 30 years, this community had nothing. When I was a kid, Kansas City, Kansas was the lifeblood of the metro. You go down to 435 and 635 and I-70 and Indian Springs, even though it's not there anymore, everything was here. And then when I was in junior high and high school, everything went away. We had to go to Johnson County for everything, and we risked our lives, risked our freedom to go out there and do everything. So I kind of am confused about how this process leaves us with us even thinking about paying a sales tax that we're gonna add to the sales tax we got from the last time we tried something like this. And thank you, Mayor Miranda,
1 minute.
for bringing all those things to our community when you did. But we're still paying 10% when we said when it was told that it was going to be for 10 years. We're still paying that and higher. So why is Johnson County getting part of this deal at all? And why are they paying less? Or why are they proposed to pay less than we are? So the fact that they want to come here, and I know that wasn't your decision, it wasn't a vote, it was decided by Clark Hunt and the governor and whoever else was involved with that. But at the same time, we need to understand that we shouldn't be paying part of this. If we're going to do anything in the Raising Entertainment District, let them pay it. Let them pay that tax. Let every business that wants to come in, every name brand retailer that wants to come in and be a part of that, let them pay that money. Because we're paying it. We're tired of paying it. We've been paying it. We've been paying it since the racetrack came out there. I was out there when the T-bones went up and I saw all that come up. Little did I know at 20 years old that was going to be out of my pocket and out of my family's pocket. I'm a grandfather now.
Your
and I don't
time
wanna
has
do this for the next 30
expired.
years. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jerry Showmaker, Nikki Richardson on deck.
Jeremy Shoemaker, KCK. This is my first time addressing you. I've never been to one of these meetings, but I thank you for having it. My ask of you today is do not be the council for Kansas City, Kansas in 2030. Be the city council of the people here today and the things we need today. At 19 years old, while I was prepping to join the Army and go off to California, I didn't pay attention to anything that was going on with the racetrack. I took a part-time job as a security guy. I do remember that we were told that things like that would bring money to the inner city, and it was supposed to be a great thing for Wyandotte County. Well, I had to vote on a $108 million bond issue for our school district. Where's that money at? I see my taxes go up on my property the last 5 years, okay? Where's the money going? That's my question. So please.
1 minute.
Please be the counsel of the people today, not what you think is best in the future. Because there's still a vote for change coming. You may not be on the council then. You're elected to be my representative today, not in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Nikki Richardson, Chris O'Connor on deck. Thank you. Chris O'Connor, Steve Bach on deck.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for taking my time. Your Honor, I am not a resident of Kansas City, Kansas.
Sir, we need your name and
Chris
residence.
O'Connor. I'm a resident of Kansas City, Missouri.
Thank you.
I do have business here in Kansas City, Kansas. I do want you guys to represent the people of Kansas City, Kansas. I do feel like there was a presentation today. I'm not really for sure what the size of the STAR district is. I am concerned that the eastern part of this county will be foregoing their tax revenues for something that happens in the western part of the county. I believe that this county needs local organic growth. And I believe that this county can happen. But if we're going to sell our future, it won't happen. You guys represent this county. I hope you guys do the best decision for the county. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Steve Bach. Thank you. Reggie Jameson. Thank you. Bernadine Rashad. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Cece Harlan with Scott Harding on deck.
My name is Cece Harlan. I live in Wyandotte County. Everybody has already said it's mostly what I want to say. However, I got two things. Star bonds are starting to look like slavery through administrative rule because that's what we're doing. We're constantly putting out money to these companies and we're getting no return. The second thing I want to say is put it on the ballot and allow us to vote for it. We don't want you to vote for it. We want to vote for it.
Our next speaker is Scott Harding, Jarvis Roan on deck.
My name's Scott Harding. We have a group called Wyandotte County Property Tax Protesters. We have over 7,500 people in the group. And what we're trying to do is trying to get the message out. I know you guys weren't transparent with any information. The state was. They gave us a 33-page report that shows that we, the citizens of Wyandotte County, don't get anything for them being in our county. And that's a shame. You know, you guys ought to be really thinking and really hard what you're giving away. In 50 years, you guys have gave sales tax away to the rich, and the poor has been paying it, the middle class. And now it's getting to the point we have so many people that's losing their homes, land banks. We've even got people in Bonner Springs with land banks. You know, this is a real shame. And the people up here, none of them are living at homeless. Everybody's got food.
1 minute.
Everybody's a place to live. These people don't. You guys aren't realizing. Somebody called me for $260. They had to get that they had to have that at 5 o'clock in the evening. Otherwise they lose their house. They signed an agreement. And that is a shame. And they're not the only ones. And luckily we got that $260 down there to the courthouse and got them taken care of. But you guys are part of the problem. You new guys, you know that you've got a big thing to come up and say the first word that you learned when you was a kid, no. And we need no right now because we need all them sales taxes to go into all the infrastructure of our city government, our county, our employees, our fire, and our EMTs and our policemen. This is not, and our roads and bridges. You guys have let this slide for so long. You've been doing it for 50 years and you think everything's okay.
Your
Well,
time
it's
has
not.
expired.
It is not.
Thank you.
Stand up, throw some ball.
Our next speaker is Jarvis Roan. Eva Garcia Mesa on deck.
Good evening. I'm Jarvis Roan from Kansas City, Kansas. This deal will make a lot more sense if we prioritize local small businesses. When local businesses grow, dollars stay local, strengthening the social safety net and supporting organizations that work directly with at-risk youth. So, for instance, we're one of the local concerns that was brought up tonight is the homeless youth. Small businesses will allocate our resources, and we're the ones that's going to get back through the food banks to the school initiatives and provide resources for our local community. I would also like to ask that the commission host a public information session or workshop to help UG small business owners better prepare to bid on upcoming stadium-related contracts. In particular, businesses in Wyandotte County are eager to compete, but need clearer guidance on procurement process, expectations, timelines,
1 minute.
and how to position themselves successfully. A public session like this would increase transparency, expand access, and help ensure that more local UG and Kansas businesses are prepared and able to participate meaningfully. And I also believe a conversation of this kind would make a real difference for the local entrepreneurs across Kansas and the UG specifically. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Eva Garcia Mesa. Steve Sessions on deck.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Commission. This is the first time that I officially get to address all of you with this new administration. This is the first time that I get to address you guys in the new administration, so I'm excited for the opportunity. Last week, this board made a decision to postpone a vote on whether to lift the residency, citing a need for additional fact-driven information on the economic impact of that vote and how it may affect this constituency. Today, I'm happy to report that I've brought some facts. Fact number one, this stadium will be owned by the state, which means we will get no property tax from it. Fact number two, the $7 million annual rent that the Chiefs will pay will never come to us. It will go into an RMMO fund for them to use. Number three, the $3 million community contribution from the Chiefs is not specifically allocated to this county. It is defined that only 50% can be spent in the Kansas City metro area, which again is not only Wyandotte County, and the rest will go anywhere within the state. The
1 minute.
base tax value of this location is set to $0. That means any tax revenue or TGT revenue generated there will be given away, diverted away from the city and county's needs and towards a billionaire's pet project. Incremental is truly just semantics in this case. All of these facts have one common denominator. None of them benefit this community. While I fully understand none of these stipulations were put forth by this local government, they are important components that illustrate exactly how we're viewed when negotiations occur. As a community that has no understanding of what community benefits actually look like and ignorant enough to
Your time
believe
has
that
expired.
the byproducts of these developments are good enough scraps, I ask that you vote no.
Our next speaker is Steve Sessions. Andy Schwartz on deck.
Steve Sessions, Kansas City, Kansas. I just want to address a couple of things, no script or nothing like that. But I think it's important for a community. You guys have heard our input. We've not heard any input from you guys. We haven't heard any opinions from the people that are going to make this decision. I think it's pretty concerning to not know where you guys are standing on the negotiation for this process. More importantly, in the presentation that we just heard and everything else, there is nothing that says, here is what KCK is going to get. Here's what Wyandotte County is going to get. It is all very much directed to the Kansas City metro area, which in the state presentation was also could mean Kansas City, Missouri in the metro and the entire state. We have done project after project after project. And I think it's a bit more of a problem that in the presentation for $3 billion, that's with a 30-year payback. I don't know if anybody's done the math. That's $100 million pre-interest of sales tax payment.
1
That
minute.
is more than we give the entire American Royal project for a 30-year payback. That 257 acres has to pay back every single year. Is it also, has anybody looked at the Chiefs organization have not ever created in the history of the Chiefs that revenue in 1 year? That's things that need to be paid attention. That is how these things go in default. That is how these things cause more problems. And I think it's important that we finally do one of these that help our community, that do something. I heard somebody say that, oh, we don't have to. We're not forced to give this sales tax revenue up. Then why would any of you 10 vote to give it up? If they are coming anyways, why would any of you vote to give it up? So any yes vote on this to give up our sales tax for this project is against our community because the state said it's coming with or without the involvement of the cities. That
Your
is the
time has
fact.
expired.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Andy Schwartz. James, thank you. Our next speaker is James Connolly. Joseph Taylor on deck.
My name is James Conlon. I live in Wyandotte County. Everybody's kind of said what I had. I got like 15 pages. All right, so I guess what I'm trying to say is that out of the 32 NFL teams, there's 5 stadiums that's privately owned that the owners, the teams bought. There's 3 stadiums that is funded by the state and the cities that they're in. Out of those 3 stadiums, it's only one that is still open, and that's New Orleans. Also, we don't have an understanding. Yeah, we got to pay for the stadium getting built, but who's paying for the maintenance cost? Because if you check with Johnson County, they pay a lot of money for the maintenance of the Arrowhead. And so it's an increased cost that has not been said, or I haven't read how much is that cost. So I asked that this body go to
1 minute.
Jackson County and ask them how much is the cost. Because if it was so profitable, why would they let the Chiefs leave? Thank you.
Our next speaker is Joseph Taylor. Stephen Jenkins on deck.
Good evening. I hope you'll forgive me. My name is Joe Taylor. I'm from Overland Park. And I consider myself to be an ally of Wyandotte County. The reason I'm here today, some of you may remember the letter that I sent about 12 days ago with the over-the-top flyer. But I wanted to present something that other people have already alluded to, and it's the, what you might call the Nancy Reagan option, for those who are old enough, the just say no option. If you put, if certainly what you've proposed is great to reduce the footprint. And what that does is that reduces the damage that would be done to Wyandotte County. We also have to remember that there's a lot of other things in this Monitor 2.0 proposal, including that you may not get the pilot payments that would normally be due. Those fund, I think, largely the police department and services.
1 minute.
So I wanted to propose that if you just say no, and you just put a little pencil to it, take the number of seats, number of tickets, average price, et cetera, you wind up with, you guys could net up, if you say no, you could net up about $15 million a year. And that's my numbers. Somebody needs to check them, who knows more than me. But the difference between losing some and gaining $15 million a year, and they're not going to leave, they're not going to turn this deal down for $15 million a year. As just knowing the scale, $15 million a year is 1/10 of what Patrick Mahomes gets paid. So you have an opportunity here to, dear God help us, be Nancy Reagan and just say no and take the $15 million and put it every year to your needs. So you go ahead, sir.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Stephen Jenkins. Stephanie Poole-Holbert on deck. Stephen Jenkins. Last call, Mr. Jenkins. Our next speaker is Stephanie Poole-Holbert. Diane Clemens on deck.
Stephanie Peugeot Birch, resident of Kansas City, Kansas. I am sorry, Mayor, that you didn't have the opportunity to put forth your best effort in protecting the residents of Kansas City, Kansas, and this was just kind of thrown into Wyandotte. I am sorry for our commissioners that you had to sign a non-disclosure agreement so that you weren't able to be very transparent to the residents in Kansas City, Kansas. I am a business owner in Kansas City, Kansas. I also own rental properties. I run a business to make money. The chiefs are running a business to make money. You need to run this government to make money. My rental properties, I do not take that rent, put it in a fund so that my renters can use that to better the homes that I am providing them. I don't do that. That's not good business. I'm
1
sorry
minute.
you didn't have that decision. I'm sorry that it was kind of thrown on you with that. But this is a stance to where you need to say no and run this as a business.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Diana Clemens. Karen Scheibe on deck.
Hi, I'm Dr. Diana Clemens, former resident of Wyandotte County. I'm here on behalf of my family and our nonprofit that is just right down the street in Nail Central Building. Good evening, Mayor, Crystal Watson, and commissioners. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of Wyandotte County residents and taxpayers regarding the use of public financing tools, particularly STAR bonds, and the broader regional development decision connected to them. First, let me be clear. Wyandotte County leadership should have been at the table from the very beginning of discussions involving major state-supported developments of this magnitude. When decisions are made early, before framework, financial structures, and community impact provisions are shaped those early at the seat. And it's unfortunate that our former mayor was not at the seat. But Wyandotte County residents already carry a high local tax burden, yet we continue to ask a very reasonable question. What is the clear measurable return of investment for our county? When STAR bonds and other incentive tools rely on incremental tax revenues, The public deserves enforceable assurances that those revenues translated to real community benefits. I'm gonna say it again, real community benefits. Jobs for local residents, workforce pipelines for our youth, educational investments, neighborhood infrastructure, and long-term base growth here in Wyandotte County. On behalf of the young people who we work with under the former mayor with the young board, the young leadership council board, those young people came up with an idea. And it's a helping hub to help the homeless and help those in need. Our communities have been positioned to receive comprehensive benefits. This is not revising, this is not about revisiting the past. It's about correcting the course moving forward. We're asking for transparency, which you have been, Mayor and Commissioners, inclusion and binding commitments. I respectfully urge you, the Mayor and the Commissioners, to advocate strongly for Wyandotte County's interests.
Your
Ensure our
time has
leadership is
expired.
engaged early in all future. And I end with this question.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm
Your
through?
time is up.
Oh, I didn't hear my 1 minute. Okay,
You got,
thank you.
yes, you're welcome.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Our next speaker is Karen Scheibe. Craig King on deck.
Good evening. Karen Scheibe, Kansas City, Kansas.
Can you speak more into the mic? Thank you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Many of you know I'm a huge community, I wouldn't say activist, but sometimes yes. When my neighbor loses a home and it affects me and I try to do things to make their life better, that takes activity. So I have a few things I just want to mention. I watched the state legislature piece that happened at the state level, and one of the legislators said that the race car track takes in about 100 million a year. They were given 24.3 in star bonds in 1999. It's now 25 years later, and they still owe 12.3. So in 25 years, they still owe half of what they asked for in star bonds.
One
And
minute.
when I added up the Kansas star bonds that are out right now, that's what's still owed, 700 million. I just want to talk a little bit about, there's a lot around corruption and feelings of that. People signing NDAs that are elected officials, elected to represent us and not a business. There was a comment about what one of the legislators asked, how do we know the property wouldn't yield better dollars for the community if this deal didn't happen? It's a good question. The ticket sales don't pay the tickets for the games. They don't have to pay sales tax. The question was asked, if there are concerts and things, would there be sales tax on those? No answer. Who is on the Sports Authority board? That's pretty much it, I believe. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
for listening.
Our next speaker is Craig King. Alan Mondero on deck.
Hello, my name is Craig King. I've lived here all my life, and these star bonds need to go. They are not working for this city or this county. 25 years ago, how much debt did we have? Look at it today. And, I love the Chiefs. I ain't got nothing to get those Chiefs, but I'm tired of getting in debt and I'm on a fixed income and I can barely afford to pay my taxes. And this has got to stop. And you can drive down Parallel and it's just terrible. You got to fix the roads. We need our tax money to fix the roads. We don't want to spend it to nobody else. Do what you're supposed to do and fix the roads.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Alan Mondero. Latanya Goodlow on deck. Thank you. Latanya Goodlow.
She already spoke.
Oh, thank you. Our next speaker is Jackie Gildo. Elizabeth on deck.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Yodo. I'm a resident of Kansas City, Kansas. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Commissioners. I live right on 118th Street, so the proposed area for the Chief Stadium. And my family has lived in our home for nearly a decade. Like many long-term residents, we care deeply about the community we built here. And over the years, we've seen property taxes steadily rise. Living in this area, we are directly impacted by any proposals that could further increase the financial burden on any residents. Many of us are concerned that this stadium project, particularly the proposed financial planning, could put any additional pressure on families that are already struggling. While I understand that development projects can bring economic growth and new opportunities, it's critical to consider who is actually paying for them. Families who have lived here for years should not be at risk of being priced out of the neighborhoods they've helped sustain and strengthen. This is more about the numbers just on a tax bill. It's
1
about
minute.
the people, families, and the stability of our community. Living on 118th Street, I see firsthand how much this project can affect the residents' ability to stay in their homes. I hope the commission will take into account the very real concerns of those who are directly impacted by the proposed financing district and ensure that there's transparency across the project at all times. We support the thoughtful growth in our city, but it must be done in a way that balances development with fairness, affordability, and respect for the families who call this neighborhood home. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to the perspective of residents like me.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Elspeth Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth Ingram, Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas. Oh, sorry. So wasn't prepared to speak tonight, but I just wanted to ask Dr. Clemens's question about what concrete comparable community benefits, such as job creation, long-term tax base growth, workforce and youth career pathways, new or improved educational facilities, and neighborhood serving infrastructure are planned for Wyandotte County as part of this regional development, similar to the benefits that Olathe is receiving through the facility, entertainment district, and new school. And I just wanted to say, let's not make it business as usual for billionaires, because this is our community, and we're here to support you. And I think you've heard so many different voices, and if you stand by us, we'll stand by you. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Rachel Russell. Mark Curry on deck. Rachel Russell. Okay, thank you.
All right, Rachel Russell, Kansas City, Kansas. As many of you know, I am deeply invested in the long-term strength and stability of this community. I am here today in support of continued development efforts surrounding the potential building of a Chief Stadium in Wyandotte County. Developments of this scale serve as economic catalysts. A professional sports stadium brings regional and national visibility, attracts tourism, creates jobs, supports local small businesses, and generates revenue that can be reinvested into infrastructure, housing, and community amenities. Major league teams also bring significant philanthropic investment that is often overlooked. Across the country, professional sports organizations routinely invest millions into youth programs, education initiatives, neighborhood revitalization, and community health efforts. These partnerships can create lasting benefits that extend well beyond the stadium itself. I also want to acknowledge the concerns many residents have about public investment and the idea of taxpayers paying for stadium development. Those concerns are valid and deserve transparency and accountability. At the same time, it's important to recognize that some of the challenges we face today, including aging roads and infrastructure needs, have been influenced by past policy decisions, including periods where revenue neutral approaches limited our ability to generate new funding for long-term infrastructure improvements. Strategic economic development creates opportunities to expand our tax base and help address those gaps moving forward. We must also be careful not to fall into patterns that unintentionally position our community as resistant to responsible development. especially when those opportunities can strengthen our long-term economic impact. Equally important is ensuring that development tied to this project supports equitable growth across our community, including the East Side, which has historically experienced less concentrated investment.
Your
Future
time has
agreements-
expired.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mark Curry, Reverend Tony Carter on deck.
Mark Curry, Kansas City, Kansas. I'm a lifelong resident of Kansas City, Kansas, and a 60-year Kansas City Chiefs ticket holder. I'm very excited about the opportunity that's been presented to us for the Chiefs to move to Kansas. When the first announcement was made, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal. That article said the armpit of Kansas and how it landed the Chiefs. I've heard a lot of comments today, a lot on the negative side. The question that I have is, if we do nothing, where will we be? I say, look for opportunity. Take this opportunity to try to advance this city beyond just the scope of where the stadium will be. We're talking sales tax and the sales tax district. I know that's a decision that you all will make. I think yours is shrunk from what the state had offered. My suggestion would be, as the mayor and this council, approach the governor and the legislature, request a city earnings tax.
1 minute.
It will be a way to offset any sales tax district that may be provided for the Chiefs Stadium. It will be an opportunity for us to not only get the stadium, but improve our livelihoods in this city, better streets, better bridges, better services. So again, I support this. I look for you all to do your due diligence to get a deal that benefits each of us in this room. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Reverend Tony Carter, Joy McCann on deck.
Good evening to all of you. Thank you for allowing us these moments. I'm Reverend Tony Carter, Salem Baptist Church Pastor Emeritus. I retired over a year ago, so I don't know if they even still own me. I have learned in my 71 years of life that people are going to do what they're going to do. My kids, my parents, church members, people in general are going to do what they're going to do. Systems are going to do what they're going to do. So I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, but I do want to remind us that we've got a responsibility. This is not going to impact me in my age, but I have 12 grandbabies from 7 to 25, and they will be impacted by what happens. And I think this is a watershed moment for us to do collectively together what is right for everybody that's involved in this. It's going to be hard. It will not be easy.
1 minute.
But I believe if we work together, we can get this done. And I remind you of, and I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't do this, Matthew 25, verse 45 says, inasmuch as you have done or not done to the least of these, you've done it unto me. At some point, we are going to be accountable for what we've done, not just to everybody who's going to be happy with this, but even to those who don't have anything to say about it. We've got a responsibility to the least of these. And I think we need to roll up our sleeves, come together, and work out a solution. They figured out how to pay Pat $500 million over 10 years by turning money that's due into signing bonuses so it don't hurt them. We can figure this out. It just means we've got to work together. And when we do that, God will bless what we're going to do.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Joy McCann, Dr. Brenda Scruggs on deck.
Joy McCann. I'm Kansas City, Missouri, moving into Kansas City, Kansas. I think, the biggest thing, I don't know anything about this deal, and I'm wondering how much everybody else knows.
We got more information than anybody's got.
Can we please
Well, I
Mr.
think the
Hart,
people need
please
more
be
information.
respectful.
That's the first thing that I want to say. Second, I'm not sure you guys had any input in this. I mean, it sort of seems like this might be something that was kind of imposed upon you. And I just encourage you, if that's the situation, say no. That's how you start the negotiation. When you say no, they have to come back with a better deal. That if you guys think this isn't the best deal for Wyandotte County, and based on everything all these people are saying, I am suspicious this is not the best deal. Say no and start the negotiations. And if they won't negotiate
1
with
minute.
you, then what's the option? I mean, maybe taking the option, that's the best thing for Wyandotte County. But stick up for us and do the best you can. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Dr. Brenda Scruggs. Stephanie Barton on deck.
Dr. Brenda Scruggs, through you, Wyandotte County. I am not sure that people understand that the chiefs coming here is not going to bring money into the community. They will not be paying taxes because the state of Kansas owns the property. So all the revenue will go back to the chiefs. Also, someone was talking about a good business practice. And I think you may be buying something that you will not bring you the return even in popularity. First of all, the tickets, Kansas, Wyandotte County can't even afford to pay their property tax. They certainly can't afford $200 tickets to get into see the Chiefs. Secondly,
1 minute.
the Chiefs have been an outstanding football team for years. However, the last year, they really bombed. Also, the coach is thinking of leaving. Kelsey is planning to leave, and Holmes may leave. Then what will you have? So you may, and also Missouri is trying to think about not allowing the Chiefs to maintain their name of Chiefs. So you may have bought a turkey. And you'll get nothing for it. So thank you.
Our next speaker is Stephanie Barton. Reginald Jones on deck.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Barton, Wyandotte County. This ordinance prioritizes big business over community, turning our dominion into their kingdom. Kansas' motto, Ad Astra Prospera, to the stars through difficulties, has a whole new meaning when looking at this deal. We have paid to pay for the last 30 years. Patrick Richardson, in a Centennial, Kansas Centennial KCMO article online, says taxpayers have a finite amount to spend on entertainment. So much of the money spent within the Star District is mostly a shift of economic activity rather than new activity. Star bonds are corporate socialism. The buck is being passed, and it's being passed on to this community. Tonight, the community has stood together, and for consideration, looking into the future. This is only part of the deal that we're dealing with tonight. There's still a lot left to consider. So things like community investment CIDs or TIFs,
1
those
minute.
things could really help benefit this community. And those are things that I would like you to look at. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Reginald Jones.
To the commissioner, to all the, to the mayor, I'm sorry, and all the commissioners, thank you for having me. Thank you for all
Sir,
the-
we need your name and residence, please.
I'm sorry. My name is Reginald Jones. I've been a resident here for 50 years and plus. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a carpenter by trade. I'm a manager at Parkwood Swimming Pool. I'm a substitute teacher at Wyandotte High School. I'm a community activist. And what I have heard so far, I like to quote that what Mrs. Reagan said. I'm just going to say no to all the negative things I've been hearing. How about the positive things? How about doing something in the Northeast end? I see y'all doing a great job, commissioners, in the West End, but in the Northeast end, I could just give you a 0 because there's nothing being done in the East, in the Northeast end. How do I know that? I was 5 years old and I went down to Parkwood Swimming Pool and everything is the same in 50 years. It's still the same. And listen, we holding the people that's accountable, and that's everybody up there and everybody out there. We all got to do better together. We cannot
1
be,
minute.
we cannot be disfranchised and do things that you want to do, and we can't do what y'all want us to do. Listen, we got to come together. Together we stand, and divided we fall. The people are making their word, their issues true. We got to do the right things, and God is holding us accountable. So I just thought it was best for me to come up there and let you know my heart, and I appreciate each one of y'all. Y'all doing the best you can, but you got to know that we all got to consider others more than ourselves. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, at this time, those are all of the individuals who've signed in to speak. You may close the public hearing or continue to take comment.
Okay, thank you. Are there any final comments? I will limit them to about 5. So the first 5 for the final comment. First 5 only. Just stand on deck. Yes, ma'am.
You ready?
Please name and
right.
residency,
I
please.
appreciate you taking the last 5.
Sure.
My name is Corey Hall, Wyandotte County resident. And I want to say thank you, first off, for sitting here and listening to us, because you didn't have to do that. And I applaud every last one of you all who sat here the entire time and listened and paid attention. I appreciate that, and I'm pretty sure they appreciate that too. But what I want to say is, first off,
That deserves an applause. Your applause is everybody there.
I want to be clear. I'm not here because I dislike the Chiefs. I mean, you can see it, right? I'm a diehard fan. I've had season tickets for over 25 years, and I've spent my Sundays, my money, and my heart for that team for all these years, right? But being a fan does not mean writing a blank check, okay? If anything, they should want to give back to this community. And I want you all to make them give back to this community. Kansas City, Kansas has real needs. Our schools have needs, our roads, our public safety, our housing, and
1 minute.
those should come before giving massive incentives to a billionaire owner franchise that's already profitable and successful. Loving a team does not mean asking working families to subsidize it. That's the bottom line. I love them. I'm gonna give my money, but you shouldn't make anybody else give them their money, right? The Chiefs are doing just fine. The question is, will KCK residents do just fine after the cost, the long-term commitments add up? And there's a lot of them. You got to think of all of it. Just last week, we were talking about the residency rule. Somebody brought up the earnest tax. All of that plays a part in this game. And you got to think about everything, not just one each individual thing, because it all adds up. Pride in our city means asking hard questions, thinking outside the box, providing solutions, and playing the game, not just being a cheerleader. I support the Chiefs. I don't support deals that put KCK taxpayers at risk. I am a proud Dot, and I hope y'all are proud Dot too. We deserve transparency.
Your time has expired.
And investment. I
Thank
want to
you.
say no, but vote for a solution
Thank
that
you.
benefits us.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Glenn Jackson, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak at this meeting.
You raise the microphone up.
My
Thank
name
you.
is Glenn Jackson. I am a KCK resident, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak at this meeting. I've looked at faces of all the commissioners, and you looked as if you're not, or you're bored to be here. And it seems like you're more worried about your luxury suites that you're going to get out of this deal than the residents. We need streets. Our tax money needs to go to our kids. We don't even have a homeless shelter in Wyandotte County. And you're trying to provide the Cunt family of billionaires over. At one time, they tried to corner the market on silver. Corruption from the beginning. And you're sitting here telling us that we have to help them build a stadium when we can't even feed our or house the homeless in Wyandotte County.
Thank you.
Yep. Alex Sanchez, KCK. This is a bad deal, and if you can smell it a mile away. When you sign a 3-year NDA to say nothing, expose nothing, and show nothing on the table, that means that there's some backdoor dealings that are happening. First off, we don't have the reason they're leaving Jackson County is because the people spoke at the ballot and they said, you are not getting one more dollar from our property taxes. Now they want to come here, but they were very clever. And this speaks to, as far as I'm concerned, the lack of integrity and character of the people that are behind this deal. They used the economic expansion, the entertainment laws that are on the books to circumvent anybody being able to have a vote on this. No citizen in this state can vote on it. It is just absolutely insane that they're actually even doing this. The only way to resolve that is for a constitutional amendment to prevent something like this from happening again. That's how crafty these lawyers are. It's going to take probably the best year that Wyandotte has ever had, and probably about 10 of those in terms of sales tax and revenues to try to keep up with the amount of money that is going to be literally stolen, because none of it is going back to this county. None of it is going back to the people. It is all 100% going back to the chiefs. And that is no bueno. And to think that people are doing this deal and thinking that it's a good deal and all high-fiving each other and applauding each other. Yeah, we're the ones that brought the Chiefs to Kansas, you know, at that nice little, that little press conference that they had. This is a political feather in the cap for both people who are outgoing and wannabes that are incoming at the state capitol. That is clearly what's going, and unfortunately,
Your time has
you
expired.
guys don't have much of a say in what can or cannot
Thank
happen.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, my name's Charles Reichmeyer. I live in KCK, and thank you for inviting public comment. You know, I liked listening to what a lot of people had to say, and honestly, a lot of people have kind of said already what I was thinking, but I just figured the more people that come up and say the same thing, the hopefully it'll get through. And I mean, my thought is I don't understand why Wyandotte is paying a cent for this. The Hunt family is worth $24 billion. This is a $4 billion project. They can afford this. And they want to take money that goes to our schools, to our law enforcement, to supporting our community, and use that to fund their private equity. And why would they ask that if they thought that this was a good investment? They know it's a bad investment unless they can get someone else to pay for it. So we should not give a cent of our money to these people.
Thank you. Okay, I allowed up to 5. There's 1 slot left before I close the public hearing. Going once, going twice. All right. Before I close the meeting, is there any commissioner that would like to make a comment? This is not about being scared. This is about allowing our commissioners to make a comment. And I do ask that you all please be respectful, okay? All right,
I got my hand up.
all right, Sites.
Stites District 7. And so somebody mentioned, and I was glad that it took 3 or 4 or 5 speakers to finally get to the NDA, right? The NDA was, I got another couple letters for it, but nonsense. We should never have been put in the position of an NDA that we cannot talk to every single person in here when we're being asked questions. I didn't like it when I was proposed with it, or presented with it, I'm sorry. I was told, well, if you don't sign it, you got to leave the meeting. That's not how I feel we operate as a partnership with the state. Didn't like it, and it's unfortunate because you guys deserve answers. I'm glad that we're here tonight, that you guys got to speak. The one thing that I would like to know is are we going to have Mr. LaSala respond to any of these?
Yes, I'll get to
tonight?
that.
Tonight?
Not tonight, no. We will have, so he's got a number of questions. There's a lot of questions because I was even taking notes myself.
Well,
And so we'll have him respond to the questions on Thursday night. So Thursday night is full commission meeting night. It will be at 5:30. This item will be on the agenda. There will be another presentation, and it will answer a lot of your questions. In fact, probably all of your questions. And there will be some full explanation to what we have on the decision that we need to make.
And the last thing that I'll say, and I hate to call out one single person on this, but sir, I just wanted to say, so I took pages of notes while I was sitting up here listening to everybody speak. I'm not worried about a suite at the Chiefs. I'm worried about what each and every one of you guys thinks. So, and I'm not calling you out. I just want you to know that's not me. I'm not that one. Thank you.
And to that end, the reason why initially you need to know that we were going to listen to your comments and I was going to close the meeting. Because you need to understand these are people too. They have feelings and they're not in this for the money. We don't pay them enough money to sit here and to listen to what your comments are. But we do care about this community. And if you don't think that each and every one of them are here and fighting for you, it's unfortunate that you think that way. But we do care. And we are trying to listen. And I want them to listen and be able to hear your comments, hear the questions, because many of you had questions. So we can get those answers for you and then present them to you in a professional manner. So please allow our commissioners to have their comment, because I want them to be able to talk to you as well. But we do want to do this respectfully and orderly. Is that okay? All right. Commissioner Hill and then Commissioner Pacheco.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say to each of you that made comments and each of you that are here, thank you for your comments and thank you for being here. I too am very concerned about us. I don't know the Chiefs personally or anything. I got hyped up about the Chiefs because we started winning a few years ago. And I had my husband at the time who died while I was here as a commissioner. He kind of taught me football while we watched it on TV. So I went and bought me a Chiefs shirt and all that other kind of stuff, trying to be an advocate for the Chiefs. But my heart is for the people of our community. And it always has been, and it always will be. My children graduated from high school here, and I live east of 635. So I drive down the same bumpy roads that many of you drive by. So I understand the challenges, and we are addressing those situations also. So my heart is also for the homeless kids. I work with the McKinney-Vento program for years, and that continues to burn at my heart's passion to make sure none of our kids or even the adults are homeless, but especially the kids. So all of those things are part of who I am. And I appreciate you for sharing your discontent. And it is, I just don't want you to go home thinking we don't care. They just sitting up there and they don't understand. Oh yeah, I'm right here and been here for a long time, and I do care, and we do care. We appreciate you taking the time out to come and share your concerns. Many times I came and shared my concerns. I've just been a commissioner a couple years. Before that, I came and shared my concerns. So thank you for who you are and what you are saying, and just know many of us, all of us do care.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Pacheco.
Thank you, Mayor. So thank you everyone again for being here. I echo my colleagues in saying that the reason I ran for this position is so that way we wouldn't be in the position that we've been put in which the state did not involve us initially, right? And so I want us to be in a position in which we're not looked like second class and stepbrother anymore, okay? So we're in a position now where we have a choice that we're going to be coming to on Thursday, right? And we're going to take all the information that we have and everything that we know about what it is to represent this community and be from this community and do all the things that we want to do for this community. And I can tell you with certainty that everybody on this commission board up to this point, with the information that we've been given, is going to make that best decision as they know how. And I will also say this, that I can't speak for anybody else, but I would also say that I was taking notes the entire time. And I'm listening to the concerns of the community. And we will review all the ones that were submitted in written format as well. At least I will. I know I will read every single one of them before Thursday night. So the bottom line is this: we weren't involved early on. It's nothing that we can do anything about. That is something we can do about moving forward. Okay, so it is my goal that beyond this one issue, from now until I'm done serving in this seat, that we will no longer be treated as second class anymore by anyone at any time. It's upon us to make decisions that are very difficult sometimes. We have many of them in front of us currently, and many more that will come even after this is done. So we appreciate the support of the community. Even if you disagree with the decision that we make or the way we go about addressing issues, I think it's very important that we start holding all of us up here accountable, and we start holding each other accountable as a community to do the best that we possibly can together. I heard so much about we need to start doing things together. And that's one of the things that perhaps over time we've lost a little bit of, even when we've had an opportunity to take some real wins and turn it into something that could be a lot better maybe than what we've gotten. Some of those things are actually policy problems that I've had problems with, right? And it's going to take time for us to fix them. But on this particular issue alone, I want you to know that what I've seen in my short time as commissioner is that we're working very hard to try to get the best deal we can done. And I'll be honest with you, we are negotiating for between a rock and a hard spot. It is what it is, all right? And a lot of you alluded to that. But what we can do from this point forward is make sure that when we negotiate, we have the most information possible. I agree with the mayor that we are going to get some more answers that are going to be, I think, answer a lot of the questions that a lot of folks had here tonight. That'll give us a good opportunity to really lay out what we see and how and the decision that we're going to make based off of that. So I thank everyone for being here. I'm happy to sit through this type of a meeting. I don't care if it lasts till 2 a.m. like they used to. Hopefully they don't last that long anymore. But for this sort of a situation in which people care, in which people bring their experience, their lived experience, and the things that they care so much about this community for, it's absolutely imperative that we as your elected officials listen to you. And so I'm always happy to do it. Please give us a chance to make the decision that we think is best. Then we live with the results and we make the best of it, hopefully as a community together. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kump and then Commissioner Howard.
Thank you, Mayor. And I also want to thank you all for being here. I know it's not easy to stand up in front of a room full of people and just express your opinion. So I really appreciate you all coming out here tonight. This is a very important issue, and it really does help all of us up here hearing from the community. I also want to say that echo the sentiment. I don't speak for all the commission, but I can say personally the NDA and the process that this negotiation took place was extremely frustrating for us as well, for me personally. And I think my fellow commissioners and mayor share that sentiment. But to echo what Commissioner Pacheco had alluded to, we're here where we're at now, so we need to make the best of what we can do in this situation. I'm not going to speak very long because I know we've had a lot of public comments. I know some other commissioners want to speak. I just want to allude to 2 points, and I know you're not answering questions tonight, so I'm not going to ask you to answer tonight. But we heard a lot about infrastructure and how we're going to support the funding for infrastructure if this project happens. So on Thursday, I'd really appreciate in the presentation that we talk about infrastructure and whether STAR bonds can cover that and how that process looks so that we can all understand as well as a community. And someone mentioned a small business public information session or task force. I believe it was you. I think regardless of the outcome of this project, I think going forward, that's just a good idea for the community. So they know so small businesses have the tools and the experience to bid on contracts for whether it's the stadium, whether it's a different development, just going forward. So they're at the table. So our local businesses have an equal footing to get in on these projects. So I think that's a great idea, and I would strongly support that. I just wanted to say I appreciate you bringing that up, and I think that's a component we can't lose sight of is the local and small business element to all of these developments. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate the comments. I've, like my fellow commissioners, have been taking notes up here, and I hope you all have a safe night getting home. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Comp. Commissioner Howard and then Commissioner Burns.
Howard, District 1. I just want to commend everybody for being here tonight. Also, I want to commend and thank everyone who sent out an email, reached out to me, reached out to colleagues, just to give your thoughts. I also want to thank my colleagues and our staff. We have been working extremely hard just to make sure that we had all the information in front of us. And so I also want to thank, I just also want to thank everybody that's been involved in this because it hasn't been easy, not just for us, but for you all. And so you all bring up some pressing issues about our approach, right? Transparency, accountability. And so that is the platform that I ran on, right? Being transparent and being accountable. But I do know that there has been a history of misinformation, right? There has been a history of the community being lied to, right? And so for us, it's not that we wanted to keep things from you. We wanted to make sure that we had all the information, right? We wanted to make sure that we had information to make informed decision. And as my colleagues have already spoke to, we just didn't have that. And so the information that you all had was information that everyone was privy to. But at the end of the day, that was for us an opportunity to do exactly what you all are asking for us to do. Before we say yes, let's make sure that we are putting together a community benefits agreement that not just makes sense for us, right? But makes sense for the small businesses. It makes sense for those that are in our community on the front line. It makes sense for the educators, right? Because I was an educator and I do remember walking from North Kansas City to 81st and Warnell when I couldn't make it to work. So I remember those days. So I most definitely understand what that feels like to go to work every day, right? Help support kids that need that support as well, not just from us, but from family, right? So I think it's important that as a community, we focus on putting deals together that benefit each and every one of you. And we may not like what that looks like, right? But it's important that you all are at the table as well. And so as Commissioner of District 1 and just really to be a part of this county, I'm extremely grateful and honored that you all would show up and fight for something that you all believe in and have believed in for many of years. I'm born and raised in this county. I've been in the trenches in this county. Mr. Rohn, I went to school with you and your brother. So I know what you have in you, right? And so we want to make sure that we are providing those platforms for our community and those that have walked these grounds for a long time and continue to be on the front line. So I appreciate each and every one of you tonight, and just continue to believe in us, continue to trust us, and we're going to continue to work together as we have been doing to make the best decision that makes sense for Wyandotte County. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Burns and then Commissioner Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't want to be repetitive, but I do want to thank each and every one of you for taking the opportunity out of your lives to come here and to be able to speak to us. Like yourselves, we pay taxes too. I understand it very much. I listened to each and every one of you that spoke tonight. I didn't take notes. As a senior citizen of this commission, I didn't need to do that. I've been married for 50 years. I'm a good listener. But all I can assure you that however I may vote on Thursday, I will vote to do the right thing because it will be the right thing to do. Believe me, you have my vote of confidence, whether you may or may not agree with it. I appreciate all of you for taking this opportunity. I think it has really helped all the commissioners to see different lights of really what is going on in the community. And, you know, there's always three sides to a story, your side, my side, and the truth. Let's hope we can get to the truth on Thursday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Burns. Commissioner Davis and then Commissioner Ramirez.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and thank you everyone for your patience. And I know it's a very busy day. Many of you probably came from work straight here. And so even with this turnout, quite frankly, I'm impressed, and I don't take anybody's time here for granted. A lot of you have emailed us, and so I'm just going to put a blanket apology if I've not gotten back to you, because there's been over, at least in my inbox, over 200 of correspondence just regarding this issue. One of the things I do not like about this process, and I echo everything about kind of how this was done in the NDAs, is we are still commissioners. And so we all have other responsibilities that has nothing to do with the Kansas City Chiefs that we're still trying to respond to all while governing. And so I do appreciate you all being gracious with us. I do want to reiterate some of the things that was said in the slideshow and in the ordinance. The BPU pilot will be paid. It's not pledged from us. We had already mentioned that the EMS tax to support our fire and support our EMS folks, that will be paid. For the public infrastructure tax, that tax pays and it goes into the coffers for police and fire and parks. That also was mentioned here for the neighborhood infrastructure tax. That is not pledged. And of course, we have gas tax and internet tax that also, as was stated in the ordinance and in this presentation that was given publicly, is also not pledged. Now, I understand that that does not necessarily satisfy everybody. I understand that, but I do want to make sure that all things being equal, we are having a leveled conversation about what was presented so that your concerns are addressed. And I do want to reiterate that because it was quite some time since our outside counsel has presented. This is not a development agreement. This is not land entitlements. There's no plan review here. There's no special use permit. None of those things we're not even there yet. And so I want to just, again, level set here, because I do think the media really hasn't done a really good job in understanding our process of how we would normally come to a decision like this. It would not be something this quickly. It would not. And you all have watched us work through home field. You've watched us work through the American Royal. You watch us work through really, really important projects. None of them were this fast. So the question is, why is this happening so fast? That has to do with state statute. Doesn't have to do with Wyandotte County. It's why our colleagues in Olathe are having the same or similar conversation tonight. We did not choose the pace or the timeline of this, but we're trying to be responsible and adhere to all of the facts and all the information so that we practice due diligence and good governance. And so, now that I have everybody's attention that's captive, there was a lot of information regarding helping our seniors and helping our community members pay their bills with property taxes and just with bills in general. And so I'll use this PSA to say we have an amazing clerk's office that is administering a senior sales tax and utility sales tax rebate program that I hope if you have not heard about it, you leave here today. If there's one positive thing you could walk away with, it's that opportunity to help those that are in need get that rebate. There's also a BPU pilot suspension program, as well as assistance to help with state property tax rebates. And so please, if you are not familiar with any of these programs that I've just mentioned, please do take advantage of them because we want to help you and we want to exhaust all of those funds and make sure that they're back in the pockets of our residents. This is not a done deal. We have regardless of what happens on Thursday, we have so much more work to do to arrive at something that is final. That has not been clearly communicated to the public. And so please do check with us meeting on Thursday and with the meetings following up. We want to continue to engage with you, the public, not only this issue, but the other issues to make our community better. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Ramirez and then Commissioner Lopez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. It's important. I think Ms. Hall said it perfectly. It's not a vote no, but it's more of a vote, let's find a solution. Let's find the best deal. You've heard it been said already before. Not all of us agree to how we got here. But we are here now. We're doing our best. I think the best way to show that we are is the conditions that we put in the ordinance. Those weren't there before, but we worked with our counsel, Mr. La Sala, to put in those conditions so that the state can see that we're just not going to let you just come in. We're going to put a guardrails. We're going to say, these are the things you need to meet. And each and every one of us love this community. We're going to do our best to make sure whatever happens, whatever the outcome is the best deal possible. As Commissioner Davis said, this is not a done deal. This is just one step in a million other steps that need to happen. We up here, along with the mayor, are going to continue to fight and advocate for this community as we go through this process. We're not going to do nothing more, nothing less. That is our job. That is why we are sitting up here. It's why we chose this path. So I want to thank you all for coming out. We are listening. As Commissioner Pacheco said, I will read every comment. I have read every email that has come through. We are listening, and we'll do our best to fight for this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ramirez. Next is Commissioner Lopez. And I just want to add, Commissioner Lopez wanted to make a comment before. And for those constituents, I want you to know that he is making comment now. And he wanted to just reiterate the importance of abiding by the 2-minute rule and other. So I didn't know he wanted to do that. So I just want to make sure I give him much love right now. And Commissioner Lopez, go ahead and speak.
Thank you, Mayor. Listen, I hear you guys loud and clear. Trust me. Trust me. I smell this 500 miles out. You know, I'm kind of just going to be an elephant in the room here. We're in a tough spot. That's all there is to it. I mean, we've got an animal that we're dealing with that there's we've got repercussions if we play ball, and we got repercussions if we don't play ball. But at the end of the day, I'm a fighter. I don't care how big old boy are, you know, the harder they fall. But I'm gonna fight hard for us like I always do. And I want to echo off Commissioner Davis, what he said was great too. I mean, this is not a development agreement. And I've read all the emails coming in that I've already received. But as a fighter, I don't just roll over, and we're going to make our stand for our community. So trust and believe. If you know, if we might be getting beat up left and right here, but we're going to make a stand. The days of the UG getting ran over, those days are over. I'm telling you that right now. They're over. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lopez. Commissioner Bynum.
Thank you, Mayor. My colleagues have said most of what I would say. I also do have pages and pages of notes, as they do. I don't need a suite at the Chiefs. I went to a game 20 years ago and I had to leave at halftime because I was frozen solid. I do love our Chiefs and I love this community. So I'll just close by saying a sincere thank you for coming out, for speaking, for listening, and for the respectfulness that you've shown us here tonight. You had other things you could have been doing and you chose to join us here. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bynum. I will close with this. Again, there will be a full commission meeting on Thursday, and that time is at 5:30. There will be no public comment because we've had it tonight, okay? We will be given another presentation, and your questions will be answered. I also want you to know that although, and many of you alluded to this, that, you know, we've kind of had this thrown on us by the state, we are working very closely with the state. And I do want to make sure that we understand that they are diligently working with us, and we're going to make the most out of this situation regardless of what the vote is on Thursday. So with that said, with no further business to come before this governing body, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your love and passion for Wyandotte County. Go Waco. I will adjourn this special meeting. Do I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
So moved.
It has been motioned and second. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Lopez.
Aye.
Stites. Davis.
Aye.
Bynum.
Aye.
Kump.
Aye.
Howard.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Thank you. Ramirez.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
The vote is 10-0. The motion carries.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
I will.